You want to know the truth, high achiever? The truth is that tomorrow you could lose your job. A job is not a safety net anymore. And then what? Do you have another plan? Do you have another income? Do you have another revenue? Do you have another idea of how you're going to pay the bills? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to teach you in this video how to quit your job and start running your business full time. I'm Fabienne Raphael. Welcome to my channel, and I'm here to help you monetize your knowledge so you could fire your boss. I will share with you 3 steps in order for you to be able to run your business full time. That's exciting. So go get a pen, get a notepad, or stay at your computer and take notes. But really, this is going to change the way you're going to see things after this video. So the first step that you have to take care of is actually find your zone of genius. And your zone of genius, if you don't know what it is, well, ask people who love you. They will tell you what your zone of genius is. They'll tell you, oh my God, him or her? Wow, he's good at this, or she's great at that, whatsoever. And you might even have an idea of what your zone of genius is because you're extremely confident when you are in that space. So it could be something that you overcame in the past. For example, you were in a very hard and manipulative relationship and you got out of it, and now you're strong and you're confident and you want to inspire others to be able to get out of their bad situation. Well, that could be your zone of genius. Or maybe you went to college and studied everything about health and how to treat yourself the best way possible and how to eat and all that stuff. How to exercise. So you could become a health coach, right? Or a wellness coach. Or maybe you've gone to business school and you've been working in a company in an executive position, and then now it's time for you to really get started and help others with your own business. So you could become a business coach. There are so many opportunities out there. But the most important thing is that what you think might be a good idea is not necessarily a great idea to start a business with. And that's a mistake a lot of people do when they get started. They're like, I'm excited. I'm great at doing this. I'm going to sell it and I'm going to make a lot of money. Well, guess what? Not necessarily. Why? Because you need to figure out if people really want to buy what you have to sell. So if you haven't done your job of doing some kind of market research or asking questions to a lot of people to make sure that they are already actively looking for the service that you want to provide, then forget about it. Like, your business is doomed to fail. So I prefer to be straight up with you on this, and you have to do your homework. Don't get caught up into your passion for it or the fact that you think you're extremely clever and you had this great idea, and then of course it's going to be a success because you're used to have many successes and all that stuff. Well, that can't necessarily be true if you don't do what you have to do first. So to do that market research, well, you just have to go and ask people. So you go on Facebook groups, your LinkedIn feed, you could go at networking events, you can meet people all over online because there are also private forums, and you ask questions. You see what people discuss about. You see also on Google if people invest into products that are already sold in that area of expertise, because if people buy from it already, then it means it's a great market. People are willing to pay money to solve their problem, and you are supposed to be the right person to help them. So that's the first step. Find your zone of genius. And I'm sure that since you're a high achiever, you might even know what it is right now. So you know what? You actually might have an opportunity to start your business today with your zone of genius. So the second step has to do with talking to people. So I said a little bit about it in the previous step 1, but hey, let me tell you a bit more about what I mean with talking to people. So go over your introvert side of, I don't want to bother people, or I don't want to put too much energy on it. This is not me. I prefer to be behind the scenes. Well, first of all, behind the scenes that don't make any money when they have to start their business, because hey, when you start, it's you and only you. And you have to provide value to the people that you want to serve, but also you have to express what your expertise is and what people should trust you on. Because eventually when people will buy from you, well, they would want to like you and they will think that you're an authority in your field and you have credibility. So if you feel that you need to keep silent with what you have to do, then it's a very bad idea, because you won't spread the word about you and about what you do and the wonders that you can do to solve people's problems. And let me tell you something. It's funny because a lot of people, when they start their business, is like, where am I going to find my first client? Well, you know what? First of all, talk about it to the people that you know. If you don't feel comfortable going to strangers first, then ask people that you know. So your friends, it could be colleagues at work, it could be people that you play soccer with, it could be your family, if you trust them to really help you out and find people that you can serve, and say it. Well, this is what I'm doing, and this is the type of people that I'm willing to help and that I have the potential and expertise to help. So do you happen to know anyone, or do you feel that there's someone you can refer me to, or is there a specific group that you're in that might have my potential client in, and then you could join these groups or have these conversations. So maybe it's less of a uncomfortable situation for you to start with. Of course, if you go beyond the people that you know, well, you can go on social media. And please, today it's easy to connect with everyone on every platform. It's crazy. So basically, you just have to read what's happening online if you don't feel comfortable, again, to start first. Then when you learn about what people are discussing about, what they're challenged about, how you can help them, it's easier for you to find value to share with them on those posts, for example, or, just showing how credible and how of an authority you are in that field, that you know what you're talking about, and start that conversation. And when you do that, well, all the people that respond, well, you reach out to them and you start a private conversation with them. And then eventually, you don't know, it could lead to a sales call and you having your first, second, third, and go on with your clients, right? So going on groups on social media is a great idea, especially Facebook groups. There are a gazillion of them. So you have no excuse of not necessarily connecting with the people that might be great people to connect with and to do business with you. But again, it could be the exception that your people are not on social media. And that's why at point number 1, I said market research was extremely important. So if you want to reach anti-social media people, well, of course, you can't be on social media because they won't be there. So be aware of where your target market is. And this is where you have to put the energy and the investments into marketing to make yourself seen within that audience. And of course, the networking. The live networking. And for me, it's one of the best ways to connect with potential clients, because not only the person sees you, they shake your hand or not, depending on how's the situation here with COVID, but if you are face-to-face with someone, it's easier for you to connect. It's easier for them to see how you interact, your body language, how confident you are when you talk about your zone of genius. And also it's your opportunity to ask questions, listen, to relate to that person and really understand what their deepest desires and challenges are, and make sure that you're the person filling the gap for them and that you are the person that they should hire to help them solve the problem. Finally, the last thing, step 3, because we said step 1 was to find your zone of genius, which I know you know already. Step 2 was to talk to people. So get out of your cocoon or in your shell and go talk to people. And the third thing is actually make an offer. Make an offer. You want me to say it again? Make an offer, right? Because if you don't ask people to pay you, then they will not necessarily do. And it's a huge mistake if you wait too long before making an offer, because then the person will be used to you, just giving free stuff and not necessarily selling anything. So they will take it as a problem when finally you decide that you want to sell something. So lead that person to a sales call, and during the sales call, make it really about them, not necessarily about you. It's not the opportunity for you to pitch yourself and say, well, these are the reasons why you should do business with me and all that stuff. No, you have to ask the right questions for the person to open up and really understand where they're coming from, what led them to be in that situation, and how you could fill that gap and help them solve their problem. You do that over and over and over again. And of course, it's a numbers game. Of course, the more calls you're going to have, the more you'll be comfortable doing them, and the more sales you're going to have, and the more clients, and the more, eventually too many private clients, and then you would have to create, let's say, a group coaching or a mastermind group, or, organize stuff with other people because you will have too many to handle, or create your online course eventually. But the thing is, if you don't know what your zone of genius is, if you don't talk to people about your zone of genius, and if you don't make an offer, then no business and no plan B in case they fire you at your job, or in case you're fed up and you just decide to leave. Well, it's good to know that there's a very simple opportunity here when you have something that you could share with people and that that can change lives. So I feel that right now is the best opportunity that you might have in order to start doing this thing, because again, you don't know when they're going to call you in the office and say, you know what, today is your last day, or don't even finish your day. We're cutting people in the company and we decided that we no longer need your services. And no one wants to have that conversation. So stay here, right here, because in my next video, you're going to learn how to find clients on social media.